Hey folks, today I'm going to talk about hardscape construction, and I'll be using my Mosscape to demonstrate some of the techniques used. To build up a sense of scale in this aquascape, I use larger plants towards the front glass of the tank, and I use much finer leaf plants towards the rear, such as hairgrass as well as flame moss. You can also see that the horizon line is elevated to the mid-level of the tank, and this contrasts sharply with the foreground that sits at a lower level. For the hardscape, larger pieces are used closer to the front of the tank and smaller pieces are used towards the rear to simulate distance. All of these takes considerable construction work though. Take the sides for instance. The left side is raised to a height of 16 inches of hardscape, and this is achieved within 6 inches of depth in the first section of the tank. The middle substrate elevated substrate layer is 8 inches above the base of the tank, and the right side of the tank rises to a height of 12 inches within 6 inches of the front glass. All this requires quite a bit of construction work using rocks as well as wood. Often we will not find the perfect piece of hardscape that will just sit in our tank nicely. To construct many of these intricate scapes, it actually requires the shaping of the hardscape. And to do this, we need to use a variety of wood as well as stone tools. Take this hardscape that I'm currently working on for example. The current tree root in the center piece of the scape is actually made up of many small pieces. In this video, I color coded it. Every different color is actually a separate piece, and they are all glued together to give the impression of being just one tree trunk. Similarly, in the previous scape, the main tree in the center is actually composed of many separate branches glued together to give the impression of one complete tree. Speaking about glue, there are various types of glue on the market. For gluing small pieces of hardscape together, I will use super glue. The gel type is easier to use, and it is made of the chemical cyanoacrylate and is completely harmless to livestock. It also cures underwater. For more heavy duty work, I would recommend using epoxy. You can buy coral epoxy from aquarium shops or look for this thing called water weld putty from hardware stores. It comes as a dual component putty whose mixture mixes when you knead it for a couple of minutes. Then after kneading it, you can use the paste to attach hardscape together and the paste will harden. This putty also cures underwater. It holds more strongly than super glue, and it also has volume. So if you are trying to glue two rocks together where there is not enough contact surface area, using putty is much easier. Achieving good height in many of the technical aquascapes does not come from naturally having rocks that just fit the dimensions of the tank, but many times it is done by gluing smaller rocks together, finding pieces that fit, breaking down larger pieces that don't, and constructing the hardscape over time. Often this also means trying out many different hardscape layouts over days or weeks before settling on a final one. And the reconstruction progress goes on even after the scape is planted, because sometimes we can only evaluate the final scape after the plants have grown in a bit. For those of you who are getting more into technical aquascaping, my advice is that don't go looking for the perfect piece, but think about whether you can buy smaller pieces instead and construct the hardscape in the final form that you want. Take your time with it, don't rush it. Often it takes us a few days to evaluate whether a certain composition works. Also, remember to take photographs so that you have a record of what you did in the past and what things work and what do not, and this will aid in your journey greatly. With that, I come to the end of my short video. Thanks for watching, guys.